Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Now, in another episode, in another court case, a mom feels that she has been denied access to her, or the mom and dad's 3-year-old child. So, what I want to do is we want to assert ourselves and see what is actually going on. Should the mom have more access to her child, or do you feel that the mom is on some type of drugs and dad is doing a very good job? So, nevertheless, let's go and dive into this video. This is fair use. Fair use. Let's rock.
I have been withheld from visitation. I have been contacting him trying to visit my daughter, and I have not been able to. He has not allowed me to see my daughter. I missed her birthday because I was not allowed to be there. I spent my entire last paycheck on all of her birthday gifts that I still have.
Mom has endangered the minor child multiple times, including a hit-and-run accident.
Your Honor, the state is requesting that the court take note that the party Taylor Lambert is before the court today. The parties agree for the custodial parent, the dad here in this matter, to be named as the sole managing conservator, and for the dad to reside with the child in Dallas and the surrounding counties. The state has used minimum wage for the calculation of support, giving no credit for no additional children. The state has calculated child support in the amount of $209 per month to begin on the 1st of next month, April 1st, 2024. The state is requesting that state medical be paid in the amount of $113 per month. There's been no request for retroactive support or dental support with court costs as billed. That appears to be the extent of the agreement. So at this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the father here in this matter. Sir, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Hunter Stafford.
Sir, as it relates to family violence, has there been any issue related to family violence between you and the other parties to this case?
Yes, Taylor has on multiple occasions hit me in front of my child, as well as just gone off the rails in front of her. So,
Boost your revenue and drive growth with Google Ads. Reach high-value customers across the entire Google network.
yes, there has been.
Has this taken place within the last 2 years?
This would have been in 2022 and or last time around June. So so within the last 2 years, yes.
And just to confirm, you stated that these issues that you spoke of previously happened in front of the child. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. Which is partially the reason why I've been keeping my child away from Taylor per CPS suggestion as well.
And is CPS currently involved in this matter?
CPS cases have been closed. Taylor has not had contact with my child essentially since the cases have been closed. So,
And was that a requirement of CPS or that your choice, sir?
that was my choice based on the actions of Taylor. So
And how old is the child here in this matter?
she's 3. She just turned 3.
And when was the last time the mother had any visitation with the child?
It's got to be since maybe October, November, at least 6 months.
And as it relates to the visitation going forward, are you requesting that the mother has no visitation with the child?
Yes. On one stipulation is I would let her see my kid if she would take a hair follicle test, because I know that she's faked UAs before. So, and if she can pass a hair follicle test and not fail for heroin, I mean, then all right, we'll start talking about it. But until that day comes, I'd like to keep my child away from her.
All right. Would you be in agreement to the mother having visitation with the child if it's conducted via an outside agency to assist in the visitation, to monitor the visitation?
Yes, yeah. I mean, still with that stipulation, as long as she's not actively doing heroin, then yes.
And has the mother ever endangered the child here in this matter in any form or fashion?
Multiple times in multiple ways, yes.
And when was the last issue, sir?
The last issue, the last time that she she got in a car wreck with my child in the car, when her and her boyfriend were messed up. So, and then they fled the scene of the car accident. So,
and you say that the parties were messed up. Could you explain to the court what do you mean by messed up, sir?
Intoxicated.
And are you requesting that your information such as your address and telephone number be withheld from the record?
Yes, please.
And is that request being made out of safety concerns?
Yes.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court as it relates to this matter?
Other than what all the information I relayed in the first phone call is passed. Yeah. And then the only other thing is that the last lady told me that Taylor said she didn't have a job, but she's been telling me for the past 2 months that she's got 2 of them. So I don't know how truthful that is on her end. So
Am I
that's the
going
only other
to
thing
be
I'd like to pass along.
about this?
Can you wait your turn?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. No further questions for this party, Your Honor. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call Ms. Lambert. Ms. Lambert, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Taylor Lambert.
Now, as it relates to the contested issue, which is the issue of family violence and the issue of visitation, has there been any issue relating to family violence between you and the other party to this case within the last 2 years?
Yes, there has. The issue being I was under the influence of alcohol. That was when she was less than a year old. And that's not excusing the behavior, that is inappropriate behavior, but it's something that I never hit him again after that. And I'm not sure why he is saying those things, because there was only one instance where I put my hands on him.
Navan's business travel platform? It completely ruined my life. You see, I've been in the great...
I don't understand, but yes, there was that one instance, yes.
And did you hear what the other parties to this case previously testified that you had placed the child into some very dangerous situations? Are you in agreement with that information that he provided to the court previously?
Yes, I am, and those are also in the same time frame. The one about what he said about me being with my partner intoxicated in the car with my daughter, that is false. I was by myself and I was living with my sister. What I had tried to do was only tried to leave the driveway, and I drove into a ditch, and the police were called to the scene, and I was taken to Terrell State Hospital, and I was given a 72-hour hold. My daughter was put in danger, yes, but I did not drive any far. I didn't drive far with her. I didn't go far, and I was under a severe mental breakdown. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but I would like to at least have that be acknowledged.
And as it relates to the involvement in with CPS previously, the other parties provided that CPS was involved in this matter as it relates to the child. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the findings based off of the investigation from CPS were?
That, I mean, as we could just continue as is. I mean, we would be able to make our own judgment calls. Like, he could be able to make his own judgment calls. I would be able to make my own judgment calls based on visitation rights and custody agreements.
And as it relates to the visitation, ma'am, when was the last time you had any visitation with the child?
I have been withheld from visitation. I have been contacting him trying to visit my daughter, and I have not been able to. He has not allowed me to see my daughter. I missed her birthday because I was not allowed to be there. I spent my entire last paycheck on all of her birthday gifts that I still have. I was not allowed to give any of her gifts to her. I was not allowed to see her for Christmas, even though I asked her. My parents had asked him if I would be able to see, if they would even be able to see my daughter, and he refused. Thanksgiving, same thing. Halloween, I mean, I was still, just freshly clean, and I understand that reasoning. But as far as me not trying to see my daughter, that is absolutely 110% false. I have been trying.
All right. And as it relates to the visitation, what type of visitation are you requesting moving forward with the child?
I want any visitation that is allowed. I am willing to work on his terms as long as I'm able to see my daughter. That is all I care about. I'm willing to take steps. I know it's not going to be a overnight process, but I would be willing to be supervised visitation. I'm not talking about any overnight visits for any length of time. I'm talking about just being able to meet up in a public place, even to be able to see my child.
And you spoke about the supervised visits. You would be in agreement to having supervised visits just to allow you some time to visit with the child. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right. And you reside in Dallas. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would you be in agreement to supervised visits to take place at our at the family place to allow for supervised visits?
Absolutely. And I was also wondering if there would be any kind of counseling and mediation that we could be doing.
And do you understand that the other party has requested that information such as its address and telephone number be withheld from the record? Are you in agreement to that request?
Sure. Yes.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court as it relates to this case?
I do want to add that I have been requested by him to seek out like psychiatry and mediation and family therapy for our situation, mediation, if you will. I gave him that information, and he told me that he would call and make the appointment. However, that never happened, and he asked me to do so. But I actually was working. I was working, and I have proof of that, and I am more than willing to provide proof of that. However, it was placed back on me to be able to make the appointments, and at that moment in time, I was working 40 hours a week, sometimes more. So I was unable to take time out of my day for that. But that's really all I want to add.
All right. And you stated that you was working. What is your current status of your employment? Are you currently employed?
No, I'm currently unemployed.
And when did your employment end, ma'am?
My employment ended sometime last month.
And are you currently looking for work?
Absolutely.
Do you understand that the state has a agency that can assist you in finding employment? Would you like to be placed into that to assist you with looking for work?
Absolutely.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer at this time?
No, thank you.
No further question for this party, Your Honor.
All right, the parts all agreed to at the beginning of the hearing, those are all fine with me. Those we made the order of the court. If there's been family violence, whether it's one time or multiple times, it's family violence. So that's the way it is. I'm gonna make a finding, there's been family violence. I'm granting Mr. Stafford's request for non-disclosure. He's not required to let you know where he lives. I am asking that both y'all are ordered to add an app on your phone called AppClose, AppClose, and that way y'all can communicate on that app. That will be very important, especially since we're doing a non-disclosure. Of course, anything that's on the app that you text over is recorded and can be used against you in court in the future. So make sure that you are keeping yourself with being having a good conversation instead of something negative. Hang on just a second. Okay. All right. As far as what I have to do today, I have to make a decision based on the best interest of this child. And obviously, Ms. Lambert, if you have drug and alcohol issues, that makes me give pause to why I should do visitation on a regular way or things like that. Unfortunately, you have some issues. Maybe you have some mental health issues too. I don't know. But I can't give you regular visitation. I can't even trust that you can be alone with the child at this point until you handle your issues. So I'm gonna do a visitation to be supervised by the Faith and Liberty Place on the second Saturdays of each month from 12 to 2 p.m. for 2 hours. And that will only begin after you provide Mr. Stafford a copy of a hair follicle test. I'll let you go and do a test, and then you need to provide it to him. I think you can provide it to him on AppClose, or you can text it to him or something like that once you get a result. But if you're not clean, there's no reason for you to do visitation. So you'll have to make a choice of whether what's more important, your drug or alcohol or your child. And I think that's what Mr. Stafford's saying as well. He wants you to make a choice. And until you make that choice, there's nothing else that we can really do at this point because you're not safe around the child. You have to be able to supervise. I'm talking. You have to be able to supervise your child. You cannot do that while you're intoxicated or high. A 3-year-old can move pretty fast. And so even if you're not using anything, it's pretty hard to keep up with a 3-year-old. And so you have to understand that you need to take care of your own personal issues. If you need mental health help, you don't have to wait on Mr. Stafford to do that. You can do that on your own. And you may need to do that. It's up to you. But we can't help you with that. So there's some things that you have to fix for yourself before you can take care of somebody else. I'm ordering you into the Choices program, which is a program to help you look for work. I need you to hang around here for a minute after court hearing to talk to the choice representative so they can give you information to enroll you in that program and help you to look for work. After you're done with that, you don't have to come back to see me. Yes, Mr. Tatum?
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to confirm, you stated that the visits are to take place on what Saturdays?
Second Saturdays.
On just on the second. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That's the order I've made. I understand y'all may not agree with it, but the Attorney General's office put that in writing for me to sign and email y'all a copy if they have your email addresses. Ms. Lambert, hang around, like I said, for a minute to speak with the choice representative. And Mr. Stafford, you can press leave to leave for the day. Thank you.
In the beginning, I was letting her mother.
Okay, so you clearly see that the judge does not like to be interrupted. When he's speaking, he definitely likes to be heard. And you clearly can see Miss Lampert is on some kind of drug and or alcohol. She's emotional. Eyes were red the whole time, puffy, and she's definitely struggling. And I get it. A lot of us have vices, but she admitted in court that because of her actions, she almost caused harm to her own child. So I understand Mr. Stafford, the way that he is behaving as the protector of his child, especially a child that was almost harmed. So, nevertheless, you put it in the comments how you feel. This is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, subscribe, as we're going to be coming to you with more great videos in the future. And once again, we will see you next time.